Yes, thank you. Thank you, Melissa. Hello, everyone. Thanks very much for joining this webinar. It is my pleasure to introduce to you this topic where HCL has built a solution for one of his customers based on Arbortext. So before we deep dive into the details, let me just spend a few minutes to introduce to you who we are. So HCL Technologies is an Indian company that is present worldwide. We're almost $10 billion in revenue and more than 150,000 people spread worldwide. We have different businesses. So our portfolio is on the IT and business services, which is a big part of our portfolio, including infrastructure, application landscape. Historically speaking, the DNA of HCL has been on engineering services and R&D. So we're working with our customer on product design and product development. And then a more recent but very, very powerful business is related to products and platforms. If we move to the next slide, please. Basically, the topic that we're going to cover today, which is related to PLM after service or service lifecycle management, is included in our Xpand 4.0 offering, which is the way HCL addresses Industry 4.0. Including, of course, all the strength and capabilities we have from the engineering services, which allow us to give and have a full visibility on the business of companies in product design. So basically, the way we're approaching this with Xpand 4.0 is to cover four main pillars, which are related to the digital thread, digital transformation. Starting with the connected design, which is covering the engineering, IT, and business side of things. Moving into the integration to manufacturing and shop floor with connected factory. And then moving into the connected products and services, which basically are covering sales and after sales, supply chain and supplier collaboration, as well as product customer experience and product costing. So this is basically how these three topics are connected together. And because customers do need to have end-to-end processes covering from engineering to after sales, it is very important that we have an understanding of the businesses and the processes of our customers. And you will see that in the example that we're showing later, this is no exception. And so in terms of technical documentation management, we have to come from data coming from CAD and engineering IT into the sales and after sales and maintenance. This is, of course, boosted by technologies and solution accelerators, the latter being pure IP from HCL, which are kind of unique solutions that are accelerating our approach into Industry 4.0. If we move to the next slide, please. Historically speaking, if you look at the digital transformation going from engineering to manufacturing to supply chain, supplier collaboration, down to after sales, aftermarket, the latter has been the one that has been more managed into a siloed approach by customers, meaning that there has been historically a deep disconnect between after sales engineering and R&D engineering or manufacturing engineering, where after sales have always suffered to be really the one who did not get enough visibility of what was going on in the manufacturing and engineering. That was the number one issue. The second issue was that a lot of the focus has been in the product development and product manufacturing, where the potential for aftermarket and after sales services has been really minor. That is changing, has been changing since I would say the last 5 years, where companies have seen that in order to boost revenue, they don't only have to look at the selling or manufacturing of products, but also how they would service them, how they would support them in order to increase their revenue, in order to increase brand loyalty and brand visibility. And that is why more and more companies are requiring to have a seamless aftermarket service end-to-end processes, which are boosted by the product design and product manufacturing. So you see more and more demand on this, and that is why there are solutions which are more and more coming into market to try to address either specific processes or the whole end-to-end process. And in this session, of course, we will speak how PTC's Arbortext is helping companies in dealing with one of the very, very important functional building blocks, which is technical documentation management. So in saying that, I would like to hand over to Linga. He will deep dive into the solution that we have developed. And of course, I will pick up at the end of it for any questions you may have. Thank you.
Yeah, move into next slide, Shiva. So thanks everyone. Thanks Luca for giving the very wonderful insight about this service and aftermarket side. So I'm going to talk about now what are the business challenges in the service information side and how we can tackle using the PTC, Arbortext and SPII solution, and also using the HCL services. And also we built some of the custom tool on top of this Arbortext and the SPII solutions. So here, so I'm talking about, so while there is a growing interest among the manufacturer in the business value of the digital thread, so manufacturers are facing number of challenges in the digital thread implementation. So here you see the heterogeneous application landscape, the traditional deployment methodology of the IT application, where the functions are not capable of addressing this digital thread requirement, correct? So there are different applications across this 4 tower: engineering, manufacturing, aftermarket, and product in use. The interoperability between these silos is the big challenge. So some of these applications which further increase because of this, all applications are legacy. So because of this, this increase the challenges more. So there are difference in the data schematic across the different functions, application, and enterprise. Even if data is available, the context and latency of the often is missing, right? So this makes the implementation of digital thread is more difficult. Another issue is data should be dynamic and fresh for the organized to get the benefit of digital thread, but often data is become static and stale here. So also the manufacturers need to connect their design suppliers, manufacturing suppliers, and service partner for the constant data exchange. The more external entity comprise this whole ecosystem, so then this whole ecosystem become more complexity, and the implementation of the digital thread will be going more complex. So each organization has their own data schematics, applications, so on, so which may or may not talk each other. So because of these challenges, like siloed application and the leakage in their whole digital thread, the downstream users are not able to consume the data properly. So because of this, these issues, can you move to the next slide, please? So because of this issue, we are seeing some of the challenges we are hearing from our customer. Maybe you guys also running the same problem also. The technical information is directly affect the success and revenue of the manufacturer. So there is a lot of interest around this aftermarket server, but we are seeing a lot of difficulties how we can keep up with that. So one of those being low authoring productivity and document consistency, correct? So traditional word processor force authors to manually maintain the service documentation and document formatting. So it's include inserting, styling. It is going to vary depending on the author. So that actually producing that content, and if ever need to go through the reproduce and deliver the documentation. So what happens, many times authors are going to find themselves manually typing in content. So not really being able to reuse the same redundancy across multiple different service documents. Maybe it is a little bit too difficult to find those, or maybe it is just difficult to figure out which document has the right wording. So just they rewrite the things, which leads to a lot of duplicate efforts and work. So, and that overall styling of the document needs to be modified depend on where you are actually delivering this, correct? And also we are seeing 30 to 50% of author time is spent on manually laying out these pages, or reproducing the work, or reproducing the styling that has already been done in past, correct? So this is just leads the poor document quality and the inconsistency in the formatting. This leads the different technical documents varying from product to product, or even just how it is being delivered. So overall, we are seeing the information is very monolithic in the service manual. It is going to contain a lot of overloaded information that might not convey the information about the product and all its variants, correct? So it is very difficult to find the product centric, the service information that we need to support the particular or multiple configuration of the products. And also we are seeing many times lacking in revision control and change management. So service information can easily become the out of date, and it is difficult to manage depending on how segmented out your process is, how far you are going to having the very good version control and change management system. So overall, even in the publishing side also we are seeing, so most of the publishing process will be going into the manual. So most of the time authors are spending only documenting this technical content, and styling and layouting is the document. This is just duplicate work, correct? So author should be concentrated on authoring the document, other than less and actually how it is being formatted, how it is being delivered. Okay, this is totally the duplicate works. And the last challenge we are seeing in the translation side. So the where we are seeing the very high cost around this, depending on which region we are doing, depending on which type of manual we are doing, and which publication where we are sending. So totally this translation cost is increasing drastically based on how much touch up you might need to be redone, or how much rework is going to be done. So these are the some of the major challenges we are facing in the technical information side. So moving to next slide. So tackle this all the challenges, the PTC end-to-end Arbortext suite and service part information instruction and the dynamic public solution. So it streamlines the whole process on the creation, managing, and delivery side using the whole PTC suite from Arbortext and SPII and the Arbortext publishing side. So the technical publication group can give full control over the content through all of the workflow necessary to have drive, author, and revise the process. They right from the publishing that content, print, and electronically deliver. So end-to-end solution start from your authoring to the publishing from the Arbortext side. So here in the Arbortext IsoDraw and the Creo illustration used for the 2D, 3D graphic authoring, and Arbortext editor is for the XML structured content, and Styler, which is deals with the layout and formatting associated content, correct? So next is the middle layer, talking about this is the Windchill platform, which offers this version control over your content, and the service part information and instruction. This is the really the component that is responsible for managing all your content with the translation in the multi-language also. So this will help in the service oriented manner, or even in the publication oriented manner. So it is very important you can structure your data even that meet your particular needs, whether it is a traditional manual or whether it is a product oriented manner. So next here the layer is the publishing engine, which is really used output from PDF and HTML for printing, or some other use for delivering electronically. So here, this is we called as the Arbortext content delivery, correct? So which is really the viewer or application that service people or anybody can go and access the latest, accurate, up-to-date data. This is the whole end-to-end PTC solution. So to support this PTC portfolio, so HCL has the expertise and HCL expertise on seamlessly creating and managing the delivery service information. And also we have built a pre-built custom app on top of this, both Arbortext and SPII. So we help the customer to implement these solution, and also we have a variety of consultant to support these ancillary things needed for the implementation. Like we also help to customer to pre-planning the some workshop and creating the migration plan, and also support for the translation of different languages. And also we have involved a strategic direction planning, as well as we provide a end-to-end service to the all type of all customers and all organizations. Here we talk about the best practices using the PTC, Arbortext and SPII. So using the PTC, SPI and Arbortext portfolio, so we can establish mechanism for technical publication department to build the downstream SPOM from the engineering BOM, along with the service kit creation process from your service BOM. User is able to author the part list information along with the service specific attributes for each assembly, leveraging the CAD and the 3D illustration. This will creation and associating with the related part list information. This will ensure your traceability with the upstream engineering data, and we can also configure for releasing and the change management of your service part list and the illustration purpose. So next here is the building the next step is you are building the design information structure and the publication structure. So this will be depending on the customer portfolio, which caters the various business lines and covering your different product model and different variants. So this is very essential. So to build the right supported structure for the company, to define the business rules such as options and choices information, correct? So with the product hierarchy information, so that it is technical publication department or your service engineering department, they can ensure the right information from both the part and your service information side. So next is your the publishing engine. So this is the part information which now called as the Arbortext content delivery, which is the part catalog system or the data access. So this is the end-to-end start from your engineering BOM to the SBOM, and then information and publication structure, and finally we can publish to the Arbortext content delivery. So moving to next slide. Yeah, so this is about some of the approaches how we can tackle. So now we can I'm going to talk about the recently we have worked with one of the oil and gas industry to enable their digital thread on the aftermarket and service side. And also we leverage our HCL pre-built easy tool for the web-based authoring. So this is the one of the case study. This is the scenario from world leading oil field service provider. The technical publication department in this case was managing all their service manual in the legacy system for various content creation for the various their product. And they receive the input from various source, that is R&D and marketing. The information exchange either their Word, Excel and email based communication. So which is the some of the challenges like the data harmonization related issue and lack of information traceability. So what HCL was did, so we did adding the digital enablement of the solution coming from their design, manufacturing and service. So here you can see their current as is content management system. So they are currently using Excel as their content authoring, which has built on macros, and then they are converting into that some of the PDF, and they also customize their Arbortext publishing engine side, correct? So their current legacy content management is the single source XML component that is used by multiple their departments like engineering, manufacturing and sustain department. So they used for creating and publishing this legacy content management system for current service information management. So their current system is very old, and this is an obsolete system, and then they need to replace to comply their organization security policy. And also they are looking for their future content management system will be well integrated with their existing CAD, PLM and Arbortext suite. Yeah, so and also we got some of the very challenging requirement from the customers, like need to develop very simple user interface which capture the all the work standard work instruction related there, all the graphics, and application should have modern HTML capability. And also the one more the functionality they are asking, the customer was requirement was the guided authoring tool. So whenever user start authoring any technical information, so system has to guide them each and every steps, what is the description of each steps and what are the recommended value. So this kind of all the features the implementing the into that particular web based authoring tool. The application also allow user to create, edit, and search the new work instruction. Also, they want to manage the all the review comment on this web authoring tool also. So backend, they require this, all the content will be stored in Windchill, and also it has to be converted as the data model and using the Arbortext publishing engine that has to publish in PDF and HTML format. Okay, moving into next slide, Shiva. To address these challenges, and we have built this is the high level solution. So using our SCL easy authoring tool to seamless integration with their Windchill and Arbortext. So here you talk about there are three layer. One is UI side, and middle layer will be managing the content using the Windchill, and this final layer will be the Arbortext publishing side. So UI side, so this will allow the user to, they can go and create and capture this all the requirement. They can create, edit, and search this standard work instruction, and also it will provide the dashboard for checking the status of their standard work instruction, and also they can preview this all the standard work instruction. So once it is done, then we have done some UI HTML to converting into their data format, and then data will be stored into the Windchill using their content management strategy. Then it will be published using the uh, Arbortext publish engine. So this application has some of the key features like a guided authoring tool, so which is already I talked about, the which provides the form or wizard type content authoring dashboards, which guides or prompts the user to appropriate structure and content into the given. And the second one more options is rearranging the button. So it will rearrange whenever if you want, while executing the task, we can select any of the steps and we can rearrange into the all the work instruction steps. And then before checking into the Windchill side, it will validate and it will check in into the Windchill. And the final function is we can also download the package for your downstream application uses. Yeah, just in the next slide, you are moving into, we'll show the short demo of this applications, how it is used, and how it is allow your contributors and reviewers and SME directly. He can easily create the content that can be seamlessly incorporated into the content management process. So this will reduce your burden, saving the time and increase the information accuracy, correct? So in this demo, we are going to show the some high-level use cases like how a user will author or create the work instruction, how this data will be stored in Windchill, and also using the Arbortext editor, we can publish into the PDF, and also we can provide the packages to the downstream applications. Yeah. So this is the easy authoring tool. So it will provide the authentication. Once you authenticate, it will give the dashboards. There we can edit, copy, and we can preview the existing your standard work instructions. So it will show the each and every steps, all the description and each and every attributes detail about what we can put or what are the recommended parameters. So here it will guide and prompt the user. So each and every steps. So if you want to do the some of the safety equipment, so you can just directly go and put the some of the steps in the table format. Yes. So you can also upload the images and any graphics you want to put into the standard work instruction. So easily he can insert the images also. Anytime he can go and preview the how the work instructions look like if you want any modification. You can set up the columns, the size of the table, and anytime he can drag and drop and rearrange the steps also. So it is very easy to, you can rearrange, you can steps and your informations. So the once work instruction authoring is done, so backend using the Windchill, he can store this all the documents. So in the data format, it can be, we can bidirectionally, we can use into the Arbortext editor side also. Once it's done, so just you can go and publish this all the document in PDF formats. Yeah. Moving to next slide, Shiva. Yeah, so this solution, so the one of the major benefit what customers it is about nearly about 50% is increase the authoring productivity. Before they are using the I think it's using some legacy content management tool. After using this web base and on top of the Arbortext editor, so they are getting around 50% increase in their efficiency and authoring of this Arbortext content using this easy tool, correct? So it is also use the reusable XML component based content using the standardized DTD checklist and style sheet, and also easily by linking the content to its original source instead of copying and pasting. And also it is helps to eliminate the time wasted applying the same changes into the multiple copies in the same information. So we have provided the bidirectional integration. We can open into the Arbortext editor and Windchill and the web UI side also. And also it is reduce the updating information. So because it is a very simple and easy UI for authoring and managing. And the second major benefits, they improve the product service information accuracy because they are leveraging the up-to-date engineering data, and also they have maintained the associative throughout the authoring process. It's reduced the product and service information inconsistency. And also it is minimize the manual effort required to produce or deliver the product and service information. And also in the publishing side, it streamline the whole publishing process and reduce the publishing time from weeks to minutes, correct? Before they are using the very custom based publishing and lot of customization and done on top of this publishing side. And also it is deliver the update and accurate technical documentation information in real time. It is a very good real time collaboration tools. These are the some of the major benefits after we deploying our easy tool on their technical authoring side. So moving into the next slide. Yeah, so I'm going to talk about now how this HCL enable the service information digital thread, which will help the organization to meet their aftermarket service goal. So where we see the future in addition to Arbortext based collaboration. So what we are seeing is many of this you are either in the inside and outside the team members are looking other way to participate, and also they don't have Arbortext editor. Maybe they are leveraging the third party to provide the subject matter expertise, and how they have to ensure that they are able to include as many people as possible, but with the lowest barrier to entry. So that where we are seeing a need and desire for participating via web, correct? So performing the lightweight editing and via web-based tool, as well as doing the review and feedback via web tool. So the goal of this tool should be seamlessly integrated with your environment. So again, if you are already using the Arbortext editor with the Windchill and the publishing server, and also possibly you are using the translation management capability. So what happens, all that stay the same. What happens is the editor and the reviewers via web then are connecting to your Windchill to access the necessary content. uh, like I said, so it could be participating through Windchill workflow, or it should be via email invite from the authors. All the while, so pointing back to the content that being governed and managed centrally within your Windchill. Correct. So moving into the next slide. So this tool really, I think it will sit on top of your Arbortext editor, and it will augment the and complement your Arbortext editor features. So this same tool can be extended to multiple domain and multiple customers. So because this streamlines the technical publication process using the web-based authoring tool for creation and management. And also it is a, lower cost editor, so lightweight editing purpose even in the licensing perspective also. And this is more user friendly, and it is does not require the extensive knowledge of XML or the other technology to use, correct? It will help to interact with your Arbortext editor. It will complement or augment the future with the web authoring tool. And also it is a really nice tool for the collaboration with your internal external member. And the final is it is very easy to deploy and adopt, minimum or no training for the user side. And also it is easily we can extend or easily we can customize your as per the customer requirements.
Well, I need to thank everybody for participating into that, and thank you very much for all the questions. And again, we will be glad to answer to any other questions or exchanges you may want to have. You have the emails, you can connect to us, and we will be happy to continue the conversation with you. Thank you very much.